Walter Bruce Willis is a retired American actor. He achieved fame with a leading role on the comedy-drama series Moonlighting and appeared in over 100 films, gaining recognition as an action hero after his portrayal of John McClane in the Die Hard franchise and other roles. Willis's other credits include The Last Boy Scout, Death Becomes Her, Pulp Fiction, 12 Monkeys, The Fifth Element, Armageddon, The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Sin City, Red, Moonrise Kingdom, Looper, and Red 2. In the later years of his career, Willis starred in many low-budget direct-to-video films, which were poorly received. In March 2022, Willis's family announced that he was retiring after being diagnosed with aphasia, which affects language cognition. In February 2023, the family announced he had been diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia. As a singer, Willis released his debut album, The Return of Bruno, in 1987, followed by 2 more albums in 1989 and 2001. He made his Broadway debut in the stage adaptation of Misery in 2015. Willis has received various accolades throughout his career, including a Golden Globe Award, 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, and 2 People's Choice Awards. He received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2006. Films featuring Willis have grossed between US $12.64 billion and US $3.5 billion at North American box offices, making him in 2010 the 8th highest-grossing leading actor. Walter Bruce Willis was born in Idar Oberstein, West Germany, on March 19, 1955. His mother, Marlene Dott, was German, from Kassel. His father, David Willis, was an American soldier. Willis has a younger sister, Florence, and 2 younger brothers, Robert and David. After being discharged from the military in 1957, his father relocated the family to his hometown of Carneys Point, New Jersey. Willis has described his background as a long line of blue-collar people. His mother worked in a bank and his father was a welder, master mechanic, and factory worker. Willis, who spoke with a stutter, attended Penns Grove High School, where his schoolmates nicknamed him Buck Buck. He joined the drama club, found that acting on stage reduced his stutter, and was eventually elected student council president. After graduating from high school in 1973, Willis worked as a security guard at the Salem nuclear power plant and transported crew members at the DuPont Chambers Works factory in Deepwater, New Jersey. After working as a private investigator, he turned to acting. He enrolled in the drama program at Montclair State University, where he was cast in a production of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. He left school in 1977 and moved to New York City, where he supported himself in the early 1980s as a bartender at the Manhattan art bar Kamikaze. While living in the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood, Willis was cast as David Addison Jr. in the television series Moonlighting, competing against 3,000 other actors for the position. His starring role in Moonlighting, opposite Sybil Shepherd, helped to establish him as a comedic actor. During the show's 5 seasons, he won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series and a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Television Series, Musical, or Comedy. During the height of the show's success, beverage maker Seagram hired Willis as the pitchman for their Golden Wine Cooler products. The advertising campaign paid Willis US $57 million over 2 years. Willis chose not to renew his contract when he decided to stop drinking alcohol in 1988. Willis had his first lead role in a feature film in the 1987 Blake Edwards film Blind Date with Kim Basinger and John Larroquette. Edwards cast him again to play the real-life cowboy actor Tom Mix in Sunset. However, it was as unexpected. turn in the film Die Hard as John McClane that catapulted him to movie star and action hero status. He performed most of his own stunts in the film, and the film grossed $138,708,852 worldwide. Following his success with Die Hard, Willis had a leading role in the drama In Country as Vietnam veteran Emmett Smith, and also provided the voice for a talking baby in Look Who's Talking and the sequel Look Who's Talking 2. In the late 1980s, Willis enjoyed moderate success as a recording artist, recording an album of pop blues, The Return of Bruno, which included the hit single Respect Yourself featuring the Pointer Sisters. The LP was promoted by a Spinal Tap-like rockumentary parody featuring scenes of Willis performing at famous events including Woodstock. He released a version of the Drifters song Under the Boardwalk as a second single. It reached No. 2 on the UK singles chart, but was less successful in the US. Willis returned to the recording studio several times. 1990s, Die Hard sequels, Pulp Fiction and dramatic roles. Having acquired major personal success and pop culture influence playing John McClane in Die Hard, Willis reprised his role in the sequels Die Hard 2 and Die Hard with a Vengeance. These first three installments in the Die Hard series grossed over US $700 million internationally, and propelled Willis to the first rank of Hollywood action stars. In the early 1990s, Willis's career suffered a moderate slump, as he starred in flops such as The Bonfire of the Vanities and Hudson Hawk, although he did find box office success with The Last Boy Scout. He gained more success with Striking Distance but flopped again with Color of Night. It was savaged by critics but did well in the home video market, and became one of the top 20 most rented films in the United States in 1995. Maxim also ranked his sex scene in the film as the best in film history. In 1994, Willis also had a leading role in one part of Quentin Tarantino's acclaimed Pulp Fiction. The film's success gave a boost to his career, and he starred alongside his Look Who's Talking co-star John Travolta. In 1996, he was the executive producer and star of the cartoon Bruno the Kid, which featured a CGI representation of himself. That same year, he starred in Mike Judge's animated film Beavis and Butt-Head Do America with his then-wife Demi Moore. In the movie, he plays a drunken criminal named Muddy Grimes, who mistakenly sends Judge's titular characters to kill his wife, Dallas. He then played the lead roles in 12 Monkeys and The Fifth Element. However, by the end of the 1990s his career had fallen into another slump with critically panned films like The Jackal, Mercury Rising, and Breakfast of Champions, as well as the implosion of the production of Broadway Brawler, a debacle salvaged only by the success of the Michael Bay-directed Armageddon, which Willis had agreed to star in as compensation for the failed production, and which turned out to be the highest-grossing film of 1998 worldwide. The same year his voice and likeness were featured in the PlayStation video game Apocalypse. In 1999, Willis played the starring role in M. Night Shyamalan's film The Sixth Sense, which was both a commercial and critical success. In 2000, Willis won an Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series for his work on Friends. He was also nominated for a 2001 American Comedy Award for his work on Friends. Also in 2000, Willis played Jimmy the Tulip Tedeschi in The Whole Nine Yards alongside Matthew Perry. Willis was originally cast as Terry Benedict in Ocean's 11 but dropped out to work on recording an album. In the sequel, Ocean's 12, he makes a cameo appearance as himself. In 2005, he appeared in the film adaptation of Sin City. In 2006, he lent his voice as RJ the Raccoon in Over the Hedge. In 2007, He appeared in the Planet Terror half of the double feature Grindhouse as the villain, a mutant soldier. This marked Willis's second collaboration with the director Robert Rodriguez, following Sin City. He filled in for an ill David Letterman on his show on February 26, 2003, when he was supposed to be a guest. On many of his appearances on the show, Willis staged elaborate jokes, such as wearing a day-glow orange suit in honor of the Central Park gates, having one side of his face made up with simulated birdshot wounds after the Harry Whittington shooting, or trying to break a record of staying underwater for only 20 seconds. On April 12, 2007, he appeared again, this time wearing a Sanjay Malakar wig. On his June 25, 2007 appearance, he wore a mini wind turbine on his head to accompany a joke about his own fictional documentary titled An Unappealing Hunch. Willis also appeared in Japanese Subaru Legacy television commercials. Tying in with this, Subaru did a limited run of Legacies, badged Subaru Legacy Touring Bruce, in honor of Willis. Willis has appeared in 5 films with Samuel L. Jackson, and both actors were slated to work together in Blackwater Transit. Before dropping out, Willis also worked with his eldest daughter, Rumor, in the 2005 film Hostage. In 2007, he appeared in the thriller Perfect Stranger, opposite Halle Berry, the crime drama film Alpha Dog, opposite Sharon Stone, and reprised his role as John McClane in Live Free or Die Hard. Subsequently, he appeared in the films What Just Happened and Surrogates, based on the comic book of the same name. Willis was slated to play U.S. Army General William R. Pierce in director Oliver Stone's Pinkville, a drama about the investigation of the 1968 My Lai massacre. However, due to the 2007 Writers Guild of America strike, the film was canceled. Willis appeared on the 2008 Blues Traveler album North Hollywood Shootout, giving a spoken word performance over an instrumental blues rock jam on the track Free Willis. In early 2009, he appeared in an advertising campaign to publicize the insurance company Norwich Union's change of name to Aviva. 2010 Seconds. Willis starred with Tracy Morgan in the comedy Cop Out, directed by Kevin Smith, about 2 police detectives investigating the theft of a baseball card. The film was released in February 2010. Willis appeared in the music video for the song Stylo by Gorillaz. Also in 2010, he appeared in a cameo with former Planet Hollywood co-owners. An 80 Seconds action stars Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the film The Expendables. Willis played the role of CIA agent Mr. Church. This was the first time these 3 notable action movie actors appeared on screen together. Although the scene featuring the 3 was short, it was one of the most highly anticipated scenes in the film. The trio filmed their scene in an empty church on October 24, 2009. Willis next starred in Red, an adaptation of the comic book miniseries of the same name, in which he portrayed Frank Moses. The film was released on October 15, 2010. Willis with The Expendables co-star Sylvester Stallone. 2010. Willis starred alongside Bill Murray, Edward Norton, and Frances McDormand in Moonrise Kingdom. Filming took place in Rhode Island under the direction of Wes Anderson. In 2011, Willis returned, in an expanded role, in The Expendables 2. He appeared alongside Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the sci-fi action film Looper as the older version of Gordon-Levitt's character, Joe. Willis teamed up with 50 Cent in a film directed by David Barrett called Fire with Fire, starring opposite Josh Duhamel and Rosario Dawson, about a fireman who must save the love of his life. Willis also joined Vince Vaughn and Catherine Zeta-Jones in Lay the Favorite, directed by Stephen Frears, about a Las Vegas cocktail waitress who becomes an elite professional gambler. The two films were distributed by Lionsgate Entertainment. Willis reprised his most famous role, John McClane, for a fifth time, starring in A Good Day to Die Hard, which was released on February 14, 2013. In an interview, Willis said, "I have a warm spot in my heart for Die Hard. It's just the sheer novelty of being able to play the same character over 25 years and still be asked back is fun. It's much more challenging to have to do a film again and try to compete with myself, which is what I do in Die Hard. I try to improve my work every time." On October 12, 2013, Willis hosted Saturday Night Live with Katy Perry as a musical guest. In 2015, Willis made his Broadway debut in William Goldman's adaptation of Stephen King's novel Misery opposite Laurie Metcalf at the Broadhurst Theatre. His performance was generally panned by critics, who called it vacant and inert. Willis was the subject of a roast by Comedy Central in a program broadcast on July 29, 2018. Films featuring Willis have grossed between US $12.64 billion and US $3.5 billion at the North American box offices, making him in 2010 the 8th highest grossing actor in a leading role, and 12th highest including supporting roles. He is a two-time Emmy Award winner, a Golden Globe Award winner, and has been nominated for a Saturn Award 4 times. 2020 seconds, critical decline, health problems, and retirement. In the final years of his career, Willis starred in many low-budget independent thrillers and science fiction films. He worked primarily with the production companies Emmett, Furlough Oasis, headed by Randall Emmett, and 308 Entertainment Inc., headed by Corey Large. Emmett, Furlough Oasis produced 20 films starring Willis. Described by Chris Nashwity of Esquire as a profitable safe harbor for older actors, similar to The Expendables, most of the films were released direct-to-video and were widely panned. Willis would often earn US $12 million for 2 days' work, with an average of 15 minutes screen time per film. He nonetheless featured heavily in their promotional materials, earning them the derogatory nickname Geezer Teasers. Those working on the films later said Willis appeared confused, did not understand why he was there, and had to be fed lines through an earpiece. Days before Willis was scheduled to arrive on set for Out of Depth, the screenwriter was instructed to reduce his role and abbreviate his dialogue, and the director, Mike Burns, was told to complete all of Willis' scenes in a single day of filming. The Golden Raspberry Awards, an annual award for the year's worst films and performances, created a dedicated category, the worst Bruce Willis performance in a 2021 movie, for his roles in 8 films released that year. On March 30, 2022, Willis's family announced that he was retiring because he had been diagnosed with aphasia, a disorder typically caused by damage to the area of the brain that controls language expression and comprehension. The Golden Raspberry Awards retracted its Willis category, saying it was inappropriate to award a Golden Raspberry to someone whose performance was affected by a medical condition. At the time of his retirement, Willis had completed 11 films awaiting release. On February 16, 2023, Willis' family announced that he had been diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia. In a statement, the family said that Willis's condition had progressed and that challenges with communication are just one symptom of the disease. Business activities. Willis owns houses in Los Angeles and Penns Grove, New Jersey. He also rents apartments at Trump Tower and in Riverside, South Manhattan. In 2000, Willis and his business partner Arnold Rifkin started a motion picture production company called Cheyenne Enterprises. He left the company to be run solely by Rifkin in 2007 after Live Free or Die Hard. He also owns several small businesses in Haley, Idaho, including the Mint Bar and the Liberty Theater, and was one of the first promoters of Planet Hollywood, with actors Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Willis and the other actors were paid for their appearances and endorsements through an employee stock ownership plan. In 2009, Willis signed a contract to become the international face of Belvedere Saaz Sobieski Vodka in exchange for 3.3% ownership in the company. Personal life. Willis in June 2006. Willis's acting role models are Gary Cooper, Robert De Niro, Steve McQueen, and John Wayne. He is left-handed. He resides in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles with his family, relationships, and children. At the premiere for the film Stakeout, Willis met actress Demi Moore. They married on November 21, 1987, and had 3 daughters, including Rumor, who was born in August 1988. Willis and Moore announced their separation on June 24, 1998. They filed for divorce on October 18, 2000, and the divorce was finalized later that day. Regarding the divorce, Willis stated, "I felt I had failed as a father and a husband by not being able to make it work." He credited actor Will Smith for helping him cope with the situation. He has maintained a close friendship with both Moore and her subsequent husband, actor Ashton Kutcher, and attended their wedding. Willis was engaged to actress Brooke Burns until they broke up in 2004 after 10 months together. He married model Emma Heming in Turks and Caicos on March 21, 2009. Guests included his 3 daughters, as well as Moore and Kutcher. The ceremony was not legally binding, so the couple wed again in a civil ceremony in Beverly Hills 6 days later. The couple has 2 daughters, one born in 2012 and another born in 2014. Religious views. Willis was a Lutheran, but no longer practices. In a July 1998 interview with George magazine, he stated, "Organized religions in general, in my opinion, are dying forms. They were all very important when we didn't know why the sun moved, why weather changed, why hurricanes occurred, or volcanoes happened. Modern religion is the entrail of modern mythology. But there are people who interpret the Bible literally. I choose not to believe that's the way. And that's what makes America cool, you know." Political views. In 1988, Willis and then wife Demi Moore campaigned for Democratic Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis's presidential bid. 4 years later, he supported President George H.W. Bush for re-election and was an outspoken critic of Bill Clinton. However, in 1996, he declined to endorse Clinton's Republican opponent Bob Dole, because Dole had criticized Demi Moore for her role in the film Striptease. Willis was an invited speaker at the 2000 Republican National Convention, supported George W. Bush that year. In 2006, Willis said that the United States should intervene more in Colombia in order to end drug trafficking. In several interviews, Willis has said that he supports large salaries for teachers and police officers, and said he is disappointed in the United States foster care system as well as treatment of Native Americans. Willis also stated that he is a supporter of gun rights, stating, "Everyone has a right to bear arms." If you take guns away from legal gun owners, then the only people who have guns are the bad guys. In February 2006, Willis was in Manhattan to promote his film 16 Blocks with reporters. One reporter attempted to ask Willis about his opinion on the Bush administration, but was interrupted by Willis in mid-sentence when he said, "I'm sick of answering this fucking question. I'm a Republican only as far as I want a smaller government. I want less government intrusion. I want them to stop shitting on my money and your money and tax dollars that we give 50% of every year. I want them to be fiscally responsible, and I want these goddamn lobbyists out of Washington. Do that and I'll say I'm a Republican. I hate the government, okay. I'm apolitical. Write that down. I'm not a Republican." Willis did not make any contributions or public endorsements in the 2008 presidential campaign. In several June 2007 interviews, he declared that he maintains some Republican ideologies. Willis's name was in an advertisement in the Los Angeles Times on August 17, 2006. That condemned Hamas and Hezbollah and supported Israel in the 2006 Israel-Lebanon war. In 2012, Willis stated that he had a negative opinion of Mitt Romney. Military interests. Throughout his film career, Willis has depicted several military characters in films such as In Country, The Siege, Heart's War, Tears of the Sun, Grindhouse, and G.I. Joe: Retaliation. Growing up in a military family, Willis has publicly sold Girl Scout cookies for the United States Armed Forces. In 2002, Willis's then 8-year-old daughter, Talula, suggested that he purchase Girl Scout cookies to send to troops. Willis purchased 12,000 boxes of cookies, and they were distributed to sailors aboard John F. Kennedy and other troops stationed throughout the Middle East at the time. Willis meets with Brigadier General Albert Bryant, Jr., and deployed soldiers from the 4th Infantry Division in Tikrit, Iraq, during his 2003 USO tour. In 2003, Willis visited Iraq as part of the USO tour, singing to the troops with his band, the Accelerators. Willis considered joining the military to help fight the Second Iraq War, but was deterred by his age. It was believed he offered $1 million to any non-combatant who turned in terrorist leaders Osama bin Laden, Ayman al-Zawahiri, or Abu Musab al-Zarqawi in the June 2007 issue of Vanity Fair. However, he clarified that the statement was made hypothetically and not meant to be taken literally. Willis has also criticized the media for its coverage of the war, complaining that the press was more likely to focus on the negative aspects of the war. "I went to Iraq because what I saw when I was over there was soldiers, young kids for the most part, helping people in Iraq, helping getting the power turned back on, helping get hospitals open, helping get the water turned back on, and you don't hear any of that on the news. You hear X number of people were killed today, which I think does a huge disservice. It's like spitting on these young men and women who are over there fighting to help this country."